Let's focus on the Kerala story. The political storm over this film refuses to abate. Well, there have been several boycott calls. In the strongest and the latest reaction so far, West Bengal government has decided to ban the movie. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has said that this was to avoid any incident of hatred and violence and to maintain peace in the state. Arguments made by the Chief Minister herself. The announcement came just minutes after Mamata Banerjee alleged that the BJP was funding a film on Bengal on the lines of Kashmir files. Before we go any further, listen to what the Chief Minister said.
What is this Kerala files? BJP is showing the Kerala files, a distorted stories. They came to Bengal also. And along with some distorted stories, the concocted stories, they are preparing a films, Bengal files. If they can prepare the Kashmir files to condemn the Kashmiri people, now they defame the Kerala also.
Intriguingly so far, no reports have emerged from TMC-ruled state to back the apprehensions of the Chief Minister. Now the BJP that has been backing the movie as a must-watch expose on Islamist terror has said that the ban is injustice to an attempt by the filmmakers to bring out the truth.
एक्सपोज करने का काम इस फिल्म के माध्यम से हुआ है, उसको रोकने का काम नहीं कर रहे। क्या कांग्रेस और कम्युनिस्ट जैसे पार्टियां केरल में तो इसको रोक नहीं पाई, अब फिल्म को भी रुकवाने का काम कर रही हैं? क्या ये भारत की मासूम बेटियों के साथ हो रहे अन्याय के साथ कांग्रेस पार्टी खड़ी है कि खिलाफ खड़ी है? चेहरा बेनकाब हो रहा है इन लोगों का जब ये तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति कर रहे हैं, वोट बैंक की राजनीति के चलते बेटियों को गलत रास्ते पर जाने पर मजबूर कर रहे हैं और पश्चिम बंगाल जैसा राज्य तो फिल्म को बैन करके एक इतना बड़ा अन्याय कर रहा है.
Caught unawares by the state-backed ban, the team that is already facing a boycott by theatre owners in Tamil Nadu and several isolated threats of violence against the screenings in other states, the filmmakers have said that they will take the legal recourse.
Mamata Banerjee has directed Chief Secretary of Bengal Govt to ban Kerala story in Bengal. So there is a possibility that that may happen. How do you react?
Again, if that is what she has done, then we will again take a legal action. Whatever is possible under the provisions of law, we will fight that.
Now, this ideological opposition seems to have gone out of hand with violent threats seen in differences of opinion. Viewers, in Tamil Nadu, for instance, a day after NTK leader warned of laying siege to theatres and vandalizing them, the theatre owners in state have decided not to screen the controversial movie, citing law and order issues and low turnout. But listen to what the state government that is supposed to ensure safety of all had to say to that.
Party, the government has any role in Kerala Files movie. It was in fact the police arrested those protesting against the release of the movie. But unfortunately, the movie's reviews were really bad. The owners, they said, because there were no takers for the movie, they were forced to take this movie out and play a different movie. This is, I think, normal practice. Whenever a movie doesn't have traction, theatre owners immediately change the movie. I don't think there is any need to do any politics on this. As usually, BJP is doing politics and trying to divide people. So they're also trying to do the same with this.
Let's open this up quickly. Nalin Kohli, the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Rahul Ishwar, activist, will be joining us shortly. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, senior fellow IPCS political commentator. Vivek Srivastav, Tehseen Poonawala, both political analysts. And we have Mr. Joy Prakash Majumdar, the state vice president and spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress, completing the panel. Mr. Majumdar, why do you think this film is a threat to peace? Why ban the Kerala story?
It is a similar way that satanic verses were banned in India, despite there was not a single death in India due to that thing. The similar way, Taslima Nasrim's Lajja and Bikhondita was banned in West Bengal, apprehending the apprehensions that there may be some communal disharmony. The same way, Narendra Modi had banned the BBC documentaries because it was on Gujarat riot when he was and his involvement, he was the chief minister. These are the same thing, because the prerogative of keeping law and order is on the state, and state hierarchy and the administration, they have to take preemptive action, not that when the riot will come forward, it will happen.
Now, Mr.
then
Majumdar, I have
we'll
heard
take a
you,
call.
sir. Can you answer a few questions? Why was
Yes.
what was the problem with satanic verses? Can you tell our viewers?
Because they said that it's a blasphemy. All
Okay.
over the world, not every state said that thing. But there was a question about the blasphemy against a particular religion community.
Okay, it was blasphemy.
So-
What is the story of this film that you've banned, the Kerala story? What is this about? Are you aware?
Yes, yes, I am aware, and I am telling you that they are at the court. The filmmaker, they said it's a fiction, number one. Now they are saying outside the court, they are saying it's a reality. Number two, they had the teaser said that 32,000 girls in Kerala have been converted into Islam and forced to take the terrorist line and send abroad. Question is, later they have removed that. The question is, what is the actual love jihad, conversion, or ISIS terrorism? They are confused. And you see, in a veiled way, almost all the renowned media has termed this. It's a kind of WhatsApp baseless messages and pushed due to political reason to divide the society, to divide the community. It's
Okay.
a BJP-sponsored film to divide the community.
BJP-sponsored
on
film to divide the blasphemy, just like
Community
satanic
blasphemy.
verses was banned. We should ban the Kerala story, and it has been banned in Bengal. And before I get Mr. Kohli to respond to you, Mr. Mitra, this is gone beyond cancel culture. This is now out and out appeasement of the Islamist terror.
But what's new about that, Pranesh? I mean, you look at Kerala or Bengal, it's always been the street veto wins against the right to freedom of speech. We've seen this, I mean, this is not new. We've seen this over and over and over again. It is always the threat. Notice, the threat of violence is coming only from one community out here. And that community has to be appeased no matter what. And it's very curious because the TMC claims to have such an intellectual culture. Their historians keep telling you about the pitfalls of appeasement and Munich in 1937, 38, whatever. And they don't fail to apply those same lessons to their own backyard. So, it's very curious. Notice there has always just been one monopoly on street violence in India for the last 30, 40 years. On a persistent basis, on the basis of blasphemy. Okay, and this is what you're looking at. Essentially, the government, any government, be it of Kerala, Tamil Nadu or Bengal, they are all basically hostages to one particular vote bank that each of these three governments court. And that vote bank's entire USP is its feudalism, the way the thugs who lead that particular gang are able to marshal their forces to come and vote a certain way. And how they use the threat of violence to go around burning theatres, killing people. I mean, you saw what happened in the entire Nupu Sharma episode, don't you? The accusation was one of blasphemy. And what did we see? All peaceful, the peaceful slow garroting
and whatnot.
Sartan se juda and whatnot. And even our beloved Supreme Court was so scared that if they don't rule against that, there will be threats against them for allowing blasphemy. And the CJI today, who has sent one chap to jail under the NSA for inciting communal violence, at that time was saying, oh, but he's a journalist. How can I prevent him from tweeting? It is so important for journalists to do journalism and tweeting. Doesn't matter how many riots or beheadings that causes. Have you heard of any beheading caused by that YouTuber? So understand, everybody here is scared. Mr. Majumdar is smiling right now because he knows there is no death threat on him. He knows there's only one community that will give a death threat round.
No, I think Mr. Majumdar is smiling because he thinks the Mamata government has ensured peace in the state by banning the Kerala story. Let's hear from Mr. Kohli. Mr. Kohli, the charge on the BJP is that this is a BJP...
I have got a small point to make before Mr. Kohli.
Okay, sir.
Can I?
Sure, sir.
Just, my friend was was talking about freedom of speech and other things. I just want to know about the media and freedom of speech. The India has gone down beyond Afghanistan during Modi time. That the whole world says that Modi has destroyed the right of freedom of speech, right of media, and they are lecturing here.
No, I have a question. Let him finish. Let him finish. I am being polite. Let him finish. I have a question for Mr. Majumdar. Mr. Majumdar, so much about the press freedom. Have you heard of Operation Sheesh Mahal, sir?
No, question is
No, you haven't heard of Operation Sheesh Mahal?
Can you deny?
Mr. Majumdar, have you heard of Operation Sheesh Mahal?
No. Question is, don't divert the issue.
This is Operation Sheesh Mahal is about the splurge of a top politician in Afghanistan. No, it is not that. It is about the 45 crore splurge by Arvind Kejriwal, sir, the Delhi Chief Minister. And when a reporter was doing a job, Bhavna, Mr. Majumdar, listen to me, sir. Have some patience. I heard you with great patience, Mr. Majumdar, please. Now, it can't be a monologue on the show, Mr. Majumdar. Just listen to me, please. I'll tell you what has happened. You know so much.
Why you are diverting?
I'm only asking you a question on principle, Mr. Majumdar. Now listen to me. I know you can't answer that. You can't take on Arvind Kejriwal because you see you have this great opposition unity building up. Okay, let's not digress. Okay, Mr. Majumdar, your point noted. Let's get the BJP in. There are others waiting. Mr. Kohli, this is a BJP sponsored propaganda film meant to disrupt peace and social harmony.
I heard the debate very carefully, and I'm sure my panelists will give me the courtesy not to be interrupted. So I think it made a very interesting hearing with Mr. Majumdar saying that under the Modi government, freedom of speech has suffered. And he alludes to the whole world saying so, while the Bengal government actually bans the film. I mean, the irony is so massive, it can't be missed. So let's pause for a minute. There are two stories here. There is a story from the prism of politics, and there's a story from the prism of law. So I feel, as a lawyer, that those who talk, which includes the Trinamool Congress and some of the other political parties, in the country constantly about the Constitution of India must compulsorily once read Part 3 or the fundamental rights, which includes also freedom of speech and expression, and also includes what would be the right of people to watch a movie and decide whether they like it or they don't. So that exercise is also there. Just using the word constitution does not replace it. They have banned the right for people to see. In Tamil Nadu, a question that would be asked is that was there a veiled threat to cinema goers and cinema halls that if you go and watch the film there can be violence, and therefore people, for protecting their property, have taken this decision. Or take the boy in Jodhpur who watched it and says, I think everyone should watch it, against conversion, and then 3 people came and threatened him, obviously from the community that felt hurt. Now let's pause for a minute and change this story. Love jihad was pointed out by the governments of Kerala.
Mr. Majumdar, let him answer. I'll come back to you.
1 minute, Mr. Majumdar, let me finish.
Mr. Majumdar,
Mr. Majumdar, you had a very good debate. I have not interrupted you.
Mr. Majumdar, I'll come back to you for a response.
Mr. Majumdar, don't try to do this with me.
No. Your logic, BBC document.
So let me continue. Let's now take the story. Even the church, even bishops in, you'll have to, Pranesh, control it or put down his face.
No, he's not speaking now. Please make your point.
So even some bishops in, yes, thank you. Some bishops in Kerala have raised about their fear about love jihad and the targeting of Christian girls, not just Hindu, but Christian girls. Now let's pause for a minute. Nobody is saying that Muslims across are doing it. Nobody is saying that. Nobody is making a comment on Islam. But some people are certainly breaking the law or trying to do things that may not be in consonance with the principles of Islam. So therefore, this is not a Hindu-Muslim, a Muslim-Christian issue. This is about people who are targeting young ladies and taking them in a not a correct way to change their religion which is not right because that is not permissible under law. Number two, just change the narrative for a minute and assume that this word love jihad was about Hindus converting, say a Muslim. Would Bengal ban it? Then Bengal perhaps would not have. So therefore, appeasement politics is different. The constitutional norms are different. So if you want to do appeasement politics, please do. You are entitled to follow your politics, Mr. Majumdar.
Okay, appeasement
but
politics.
Don't bring in the Constitution of India and abuse the Constitution of India for your politics.
Tessin, I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you next. Majumdar, Mr. Majumdar, I just have two examples for you, Mr. Majumdar. Sir, listen to me, Mr. Majumdar. Allow me to make my point, sir. I just have two examples and correct me if I'm wrong. In 2019, a political satire film, Bhobishyoter Bhoot, this was virtually banned from public screening. The Supreme Court rapped the Mamata government, your government, sir, for the move and imposed a 20 lakh fine. The filmmakers had said that the police had ordered the step. This is 2019. In 2012, the West Bengal government banned controversial IPS officer Nazrul Islam's book for his critical views on Mamata Banerjee's Muslim policy. Just two examples, I'm putting it out there. Tessin, as a champion of free speech, your views on this?
I hope Mr. Majumdar does not interrupt me because I know that Nalin Kohli ji will definitely not. So let's make the arguments. If your best arguments to defeat the BJP, which I think must be defeated to save India, it has to be, is that India's freedom is below Afghanistan, we all need to go and see a good shrink. I mean, I'm honestly saying that. That cannot be your argument. So let's come to the substance of the argument. Nothing should be banned. Right? You gave two examples. Let me give another example of West Bengal. A professor goes to jail because he makes a cartoon on the Honorable Chief Minister of West Bengal. So this business of banning must be banned itself. But who's championing this? Who's now the promoter of this Kerala, whatever this movie is?
The Kerala story.
The Kerala story. Who's the promoter of it? The BJP. Great. Glad that you're promoting it, or Nalinji is championing free speech. Nalinji, in Delhi, can I watch the BBC documentary with you? I cannot, because you have also banned it. And everybody here is today taking a moral high position, except perhaps for Abhijit Iyer Mitra and I. Everybody is, when it suits them, will ban it. Everyone here. And that's the unfortunate reality of this country. Nupur Sharma was whose spokesperson? Was she the Congress spokesperson or BJP spokesperson? Who threw under the bus? The BJP. Before you go to the courts, Abhijit, who threw her under the bus? The BJP.
Yeah.
And who are the ones celebrating the opposition guys? Oh, uska sar tan se juda. I am asking you, I am not getting this movie, must be a good movie, bad movie, I don't care. If it is a work of fiction, make another movie to beat it. But if what Nalinji says, that there is illegal conversion, 32,000 women have been converted the wrong way, join ISIS, who's the Home Minister of the country? Amit Shah ji, what is he doing? If 32,000 women of our Indian girls...
That claim, Tessin, has been revised. 5
girls, 10 girls, 20 girls, 100 girls. How many people were mob lynched? About 100 odd. Look at the 100 odd. Rahul is saying some 3 odd girls, 4 odd girls, 10 odd girls. What is the NIA doing if they've gone to the ISIS? Amit Shah ji should stop campaigning in Karnataka and sit in Kerala. He is the Home Minister. The day I am Home Minister of this country, I will make it straight.
So do you condemn the ban or not?
There can, in a democratic society, there must not be a ban. But when the BJP stands up against the ban, it's like the devil's quoting the scriptures. Because I am saying this, I am ready to watch the Kerala files with Nalinji. Will he watch the BBC documentary with me? And I'll just add one more line about the hypocrisy. They go on the most honorable Supreme Court, the BJP or the honorable SG, and says, oh, but we've not banned the BBC documentary. That's what they stand and take in court. The exact hypocrisy that a TMC is taking here today on your show. Both of them are hypocrites.
Okay, quick response from Mr. Kohli. Rahul Ishwar, I'm coming to you next.
Tessin was entitled to take a shot at me with regard to the BBC documentary. But Tessin, you really can't take the high moral ground. Because now if I change the subject to corruption, and if I pick up some of the eminent people of the Congress party and their relatives, including son-in-laws, would you take a high moral ground on that also? So Tessin, it's easy to take a high moral ground, but very difficult to do so if you're living in a glass house. So actually, we'll let that pass, because if this goes down that route, it may be personally embarrassing to my friend.
Okay, let's stay on the debate. Rahul Ishwar, have you watched the film already, the Kerala story?
Pranesh ji, I was perhaps the first to book tickets in Book My Show and watch the Kerala stories in Kerala. 3 submissions.
Have you been booked for
Listen,
booking the
Rahul
tickets?
is promoting a website. He's an influencer now. I know this.
Have you
Yes. I was the first person to book the ticket and go and watch along with
you run the risk of being booked by the Kerala police because you booked the tickets for the film. Or go ahead, make your point, Rahul Ishwar.
Yeah. 3 submissions. First of all, these 3 reality incident happens. For example, Nimisha Fatima, Sonia Sebastian, Marin has happened. That's a reality we all know. I personally know Nimisha Fatima's mother, Bindu. That she has been running from pillar to post. That's a reality. But the number 32,000 is absolutely wrong, as Pranesh earlier told. They have retracted that number. That's a welcome step, because 32,000 is huge exaggeration, gross exaggeration that should never be encouraged. So 32,000 is wrong, but 3 is right. Third point, we can only fight Islamist radicalism and win against it without Islamophobia. So Islamic radicalism should be fought without Islamophobia. And as Rajnath Singh ji rightly said, in 2013, 2015 and 2017, that ISIS and Al-Qaeda has not been able to make a mark in India because of India's greatness and Indian Muslims' inclusivity. We need such inclusive approaches to anything. We need to have a balanced position. Some of the cases that is shown in this movie are an absolute reality that everyone knows. See, there are documented realities. US Home Department pegs the number at 66 people of Indian origin is there in ISIS. Kerala government says 109. Indian government has arrested 155 people in association with ISIS. That's a truth. But along with that, please remember, a small nation like Belgium, 400 people from Belgium has gone to ISIS fighters. But by and large, because of India's goodness and Indian Muslims integration, we have only seen 200 or 300 people going. Even that is one too many. We have to fight that. So 32,000 wrong.
No, it's not about the numbers, as Tehseen was making it about the number. This is not so much about the number as it is about the ideology. And by the way, Tehseen, the Congress party has opposed it in Kerala also. So, you know, there you go.
Everyone. And Nalinji asked me a personal question. I'll tell you, Nalinji, the son-in-law you're talking about got 3 clean chits in the court. This is not about corruption. Every political party will be a hypocrite on a matter of freedom of speech. They will all, when in opposition, stand. Let's see what happened about the IT law 66A. Congress got it in. BJP opposed it, and Ravi Shankar Prasad ji as law minister defended it when the Supreme Court struck it down. Every political party in this country is a hypocrite. The only people standing for freedom of speech on this panel perhaps is Rahul, Abhijit and I. Nobody else will stand for it. And I don't know when our lives will get into threat.
Mr. Kohli has a point to make. Mr. Kohli, quickly, Mr. Srivastava, I'm coming to you.
First of all, Tehseen also is an advocate, so he would know very well that a government always defends its law, because the government is in continuation, the parties change. So Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, as law minister, sworn by the oath of the constitution, was performing that task as the government of India's law minister. He was not doing it in his capacity as a BJP person. He may well have a view of the BJP, but when an affidavit is filed by a government, which included the Congress government before that, the next government defends it. So therefore, that is a legal requirement. It's a legal propriety.
Sorry, sir, could you not withdraw
And I don't think that's a matter of taking a high moral ground at all.
Nalinji, you're much more senior than me. Could you not withdraw the affidavit and change your position?
No,
you did that on the farm law.
Let's not digress.
You're going down the wrong route.
Let's get past that.
You're going down the wrong route, young man.
Vivek Srivastav, have you heard of Mr. V.S. Achyutanandan and his views on... Go ahead. What do you have to say? Do you support the ban by Mamata government?
Everyone, and you are, Look, first of all, I stand for the freedom of expression. There are 2 or 3 points I would like to make. I do not agree with Tehseen when he is saying that Mr. Mitra is taking the right stand. Mr. Abhijit Mitra is saying that the only one particular community is responsible for the entire violence in this country. Sorry, sir. In this country, Babri Masjid was demolished, and we do not know
I told you of blasphemy-related violence.
There are videos and photographs spread all over.
You don't understand what Mr. Mitra was saying because you were busy making notes of how you would counter him.
You don't get to misquote me.
I understand it very well. Please let me speak.
No, you understand nothing because you're misquoting, you're lying.
No, don't disturb me now. Let me speak.
No, he's only telling you that you got his quote wrong. He didn't say what you are saying.
You don't get to lie. You don't get to
lie. Sir, आप Pranesh प्रणेश, आप स्पोक्स पर्सन है अभिजीत मित्रा के?
मैं बिकॉज आपने उनका नाम लिया विवेक श्रीवास्तव, मैं स्पोक्स पर्सन नहीं हूँ, आपने उनका नाम लिया इसलिए मैं आपको तो बोलने की इजाजत दूंगा ना।
मुझे बोलने दो ना सर।
आप बोलिए
20 मिनट के बाद,
लेकिन अगर आप किसी ने कुछ बोला नहीं है, आप बोल रहे हैं
and there are two people jumping on me.
Mr. Srivastava, that's the problem. Every time I have a question for you, you don't have an answer, you know, go after the anchor. मैंने आपसे सीधा सवाल पूछा, BS अच्युतानंदन ने क्या बोला था?
If you don't have the patience, you have no business. Will you please keep quiet and let me speak for 1 minute?
All yours, sir. Go ahead.
There is a debate and you have come to be very late. And I have a moral right to tell you, yeah, don't disturb me. And kindly tell your other people not to disturb me. Mr. Mitra is totally wrong, number 1. Number 2, I would like to know from Mr. Nalin Kohli and Mr. Mitra who broke the Babri Masjid and which community was responsible. Number 2, let me
let him finish. I'll come to you, Mr. Mitra. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. Let him finish his point.
Which community?
I'll come back to you.
Okay. अरे भैया इतना don't jump so much,
Mr. Srivastava, make your point. Let's not make it personal, please.
What did the protest? कितने theaters के? No, I am not making personal, but let him not disturb me, yaar. I'm speaking, no. That is the first. So Babri Masjid, there are no answers. Number 2, what is Karani Sena? What is the movie Padmavati? Why was it made Padmavat? Which was the community protesting? And who was the one who was against the freedom of expression? And did the Prime Minister, did the BJP take a stand at that time? They did not. Okay, the BBC issue has already been raised by many people over here. So,
Mr. Srivastava,
32,000.
मैंने सीधा सवाल पूछा, 32,000 तो है भी नहीं, वो राहुल ईश्वर ने बता दिया, तहसीन पूना वाला।
मैं उस पे आ रहा हूं सर।
This is about 3 victims now. The filmmakers have
बड़ी अच्छी बात
clarified
है
it.
सर, 32,000 नहीं है तो फिल्म बनाई क्यों?
अगर एक लड़की के साथ हुआ तो that is not important.
Not 32,000.
Mr. Srivastava, if this has happened to one girl, is this not?
इसलिए क्योंकि प्राइम मिनिस्टर उसको क्यों endorse कर रहे हैं? Why is the prime minister endorsing it?
What did the chief minister say? What did Mr. Achyutanandan say about
a bad light? And then
Mr.
you take
Srivastava,
it.
why are you not answering that question?
I am coming to that. You make, sir, मैं उस पे I am coming to that, sir. आपने यहाँ पे 5-5 मिनट दिए नलिन कोहली को।
आप दीजिए सर, आप भी 3-4 मिनट दीजिए।
क्यों डर लगता है आपको? आप हमें 1 मिनट दीजिए सिर्फ, हमें नहीं चाहिए 3-4 मिनट।
आप 3-4 मिनट लीजिए मिस्टर श्रीवास्तव, don't play victim on the show, please.
You make the Kashmir files, you make the Kerala story. No, let me speak. You make Kashmir files, you make the Kerala story, you show Muslims of a particular community, a particular state as bad, then you take it as a show cause, as a placard, you take it around the whole nation, and you say, look, this is what the Muslims and Islam is all about. Then the Prime Minister jumps in, the entire BJP jumps in, the government jumps in, they all try to glorify the Kashmir files, they try to glorify the Kerala story. Why? Because there is an Islamophobic agenda of the RSS behind it. I stand for the freedom of expression. It's a lousy story. It's a lousy movie. Okay, it may or may not be.
Have you watched the film, Mr. Srivastava? Have you watched the film?
I would like Mr. Nalin Kohli to come sit with me. I called the people who have watched the film, discussed it. It is absolutely
Rahul Ishwar, why don't you discuss this with Rahul Ishwar? Rahul Ishwar has seen the film. Rahul Ishwar, now Mr. Srivastava, now please, now 1 minute, let the others also come in. ये debate चल रहा है sir, ये speech नहीं है. This is not the CPM stage. No, 1 minute. 1 minute. Mr. Srivastava, हो गया, you made your point. Rahul Ishwar has seen the film. Rahul Ishwar, why don't you discuss your observations?
Let us debate the data, facts, exaggeration, but don't demean a movie. It's a well-made movie. It's a technically sound movie. It's a well-made movie. You can debate the data.
No,
there is no issue.
Movie.
But
it's
don't
a movie with a dubious agenda. And the Prime Minister is the poster boy of it. Just like he was of the Kashmir files, and that is the bad part.
What was the Kashmir? Before I get Mr. Kohli to respond, he has his hand up. 1 minute, Mr. Srivastava. We've had debates on Kashmir files, and you've been exposed on those debates. Now, what is the film on Kashmir files about? What does it talk about? Hindu exodus हुआ था या propaganda है?
No, the Kashmir file.
Genocide हुआ था या propaganda है?
जाकर के उत्तर प्रदेश, बिहार और जगह-जगह पे दिखा करके.
Mr. Srivastava, you did not answer what Achyutanandan said. You have no answers on the genocide of Hindus. Now, come on, you're not prepared. Then you go after the anchor, Vivek Srivastava. This is not right. Nalin Kohli, answer the charge by the.
I am totally prepared, sir.
Why are you not answering the question then?
Come to Achyutanandan now.
After the debate, I can tell you, Tehseen is going to tweet that let's screen the film in Wayanad, because he stands for free speech. Tehseen will do it. He will walk the talk. Mr. Kohli.
Everybody stands for free speech.
We both.
Add
But
that
don't make
also in
movies
the
which
tweet.
create a danga, that is what I am saying.
Tehseen will add BBC documentary in the tweet. Mr. Kohli, respond to what Mr. Srivastava has said.
Good.
Abhijit, I'm going to get beaten up from both sides.
One part of it you
Telling
asked
you.
very well. Kashmir Files is about the genocide that was perpetrated against the Hindu Pandits, Kashmiri Pandits, by those who in the Kashmir Valley wanted to move them out. Mr. Srivastava has a rather democratic and fancy explanation that this is the RSS agenda. So is he trying to paint a picture that these Kashmiri Pandits who were brutalized, murdered, raped, killed, thrown out of their properties, had to live as refugees for 20 plus years, 25 years in different parts of the country, leaving everything that belonged to them behind because of that violence that was perpetrated on them. That is a RSS agenda. And Prime Minister Modi is a poster boy. I think anyone who stands against this kind of thing is the poster boy and should be a poster boy against this violence, irrespective of the person is a Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Parsi, Jew.
Because you are not bothered about Kashmiri Pandits.
I didn't interrupt you, Mr. Srivastava. I am asking for the courtesy of making my point. You say freedom of expression and speech. No, I'm sorry. I am speaking of freedom of expression and speech. It's my right to say what I wish. You said what you want to. I didn't interrupt you. So let's just respect each other's freedom of expression.
But why did you lathi charge the Pandits after the movie was over?
Prime Minister Modi is the poster boy.
No, 1 minute, Mr. Kohli, 1 minute. I'm sorry to interrupt. 1 minute, Mr. Kohli. Vivek Srivastava is saying, why did you lathi charge the Pandit? Now, are you saying, Mr. Srivastava,
yes,
that the brutality that they no 1 minute आप सवाल तो सुन लीजिए सर आपने जवाब लिखे हुए सवाल मैच तो कर लीजिए अब आप सुन लीजिए सवाल
जी
are you saying that the brutality that the Hindus faced in Kashmir was worse than some of them being lathi charge? I'm not saying that is correct, and Mr. Kohli will have to answer that. We've taken that up strongly on Times Now. Every time for 3 decades the community Kashmiri Hindus have been begging for justice with a begging bowl.
Yes.
Parties, including the BJP, has paid lip service. But this is not about that. You tell me what Achyutanandan had said about what is happening in Kerala. You have no answers on that, Mr. Srivastava.
No, I have answers, sir. आप मुझे टाइम ही दे रहे हैं.
अब टाइम दे रहे हैं, चलिए बताइए आप. क्या बोला था मिस्टर अच्युतानंदन ने?
Muslims, he never. हाँ, बिल्कुल.
मिस्टर अच्युतानंदन ने क्या बोला?
You repeat it and I'll tell you what he spoke. He made a general statement in which he did not point out to Islam, he did not point out to Muslims living in Kerala or in India. He pointed out to a very small section of extremists living abroad with a bad agenda coming to India. That's about it. And he is being misquoted. Channel after channel we are saying this. He is being misquoted. He never said it. What did he say?
BFI. Can't you even take the name?
Did he say that the Kerala Muslims are trying to...
Vivek Srivastava.
Can't you even take the name?
No, of course, yes. We were against BFI. Rahul Ishwar, you know it. We were against BFI. We were against BFI.
Why did you take the name?
We were, and you know it. You're from Kerala and you know it. Yes, I'm saying it. No, you cannot take the name of BFI directly. It could be ISIS, it could be Al-Qaeda, it could be the Taliban, it could be XYZ.
It could be.
It could be anyone.
It could be the ISIS, could be the Al-Qaeda, Mr. Mitra.
Section of PFI also.
This is getting more bizarre by the minute.
Yes.
The arguments.
4 केस लेकर के आपने पिक्चर बना दी है.
4 केस लेके look at the way he's trivializing this.
सारे मुसलमानों को
You know, look at the way Mr. Srivastava is trivializing the.
प्लेकार्ड लेके खड़े हो गए.
Mr. Srivastava, ये जो इतना गुस्सा आ रहा है आपको, if a filmmaker is trying to expose the Islamist ideology, देखिए, look at the rage with which you are speaking. Mr. Kohli, I'm coming to you. Let Mr. Mitra just slip in a comment.
What is Hindu ideology, sir?
So Mr. Vivek brought up Padmavat.
Yeah.
Did you, was anybody killed during the Padmavat protest? What was the Padmavat protest about? Was it about Hindu versus Muslim?
Are you supporting the removing of the posters, marpitai, gundagardi outside the film theatres by Karni Sena at the time of Padmavati, which was changed to Padmavat? Do you support it?
Was it religious?
Yes, you did. The RSS supported it. Bajrang Dal supported it.
Did you stand and say there and support?
You don't have a moral right to speak today.
Did you
Again,
stand
BBC
and
documentary को आपने बैन किया।
Vivek, you're
इतना
going-
ज्ञान
you're
जो
going
बांट रहे हैं
into-
आप, आपने क्या किया?
You're going
Yes,
into
we
the
did.
cycle.
आपने क्या
Please-
किया?
Please go check my
हम
timeline.
लड़े,
Please
हम
go
उसके
check my
खिलाफ बोले।
क्या
timeline.
किया यहाँ
गलत
पर?
बात।
बहुत ज्ञान बांट रहे हैं। अच्युतानंदन जी ने कहा, मतलब बहुत देर से ज्ञान सुने जा रहे हैं आप, पूरा ज्ञान बतौर दिया आपने दुनिया भर की, जौनपुर की मूली से ब्रह्मांड के रहस्यों तक। आपने क्या कहा अच्युतानंदन जी से? लेफ्ट पार्टी की डुप्लिसिटी दिख रही है नहीं दिख रही है? यहाँ पद्मावत में आप क्या खड़े हुए? यहाँ फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन और स्पीच में
बिल्कुल कोई डुप्लिसिटी नहीं है।
ज्ञान दिखा रहे हैं।
कोई डुप्लिसिटी नहीं है।
हिंदुओं का कत्ल हुआ,
वायलेंस होता है, कम्युनल वायलेंस आरएसएस का एजेंडा है।
कमाल है श्रीवास्तव जी। Just for the sake of creating
Why
some
Prime
argument,
Minister, why
you can
didn't the
bend
Prime
backwards and
Minister
do an
speak-
absolute
why didn't the Prime
intellectual
Minister speak like
somersault,
Rahul
and then you
say
stand down and
that the
blame that on
Muslims of the
Narendra
country
Modi
are
ji,
not
blame it on the
responsible.
RSS.
Only a
Everything
small
has a
section is
limit.
responsible.
Talk
He is
some
my
sense,
Prime
sir.
Minister
I request
also.
you to do that. You're on national TV.
Vivek ji, you
He's
remember
my Prime Minister also. What do you hate
No,
him?
I'm on national TV.
You don't leave an opportunity to give him
Mr.
one good
Abhijit Ayyar
sentence
Mitra is
of
trying to
Narendra
show
Modi
something.
in
Mr.
any
Mitra,
debate.
what is it? We can't
One
see it
sentence.
clearly.
Why is he
Please
glorifying
show
the
me
movie?
one sentence you've
Why
said
doesn't he
good.
say?
देखिए कुछ दिखा रहे
Why
हैं
is he
आपको।
glorifying? Now see, I said he's my Prime Minister too. You don't like
my
Narendra
beloved
Modi
Prime
ji.
Minister
You hate the fact
should
that
have
Indians
said-
vote for him. Give
Yes,
me
yes,
one
yes, listen,
sentence.
sir. My
One
beloved Prime
sentence that you have
Minister
spoken for
should have
Prime
said
Minister Modi
the
and said, I
Muslims of
like
this
what Prime
country
Minister Modi
are
has done.
not responsible for such a thing.
You know, what you tell me what you have liked about him. Should have said what? He's not waiting for a script from you. He's not waiting for a script from you.
Okay,
that you
okay,
want to
one
sit
minute.
down and write a script for
No,
what
he
Prime
has
Minister
to.
Modi should
If he's
speak.
in public
Tell me
life,
one
he's a Prime
sentence of
Minister,
what
he
you
has
have
to.
liked of Prime Minister Modi in the last
he is
8
my
years.
Prime
Give him
Minister,
some
he has
time
to
to
be
think
a
about it.
authority.
Vivek
तारीफ तो
Srivastava will
करिए
think
इस
about
चीज़
it.
की।
Then you
यहाँ
can
बैठ के
answer
my
Nalin
beloved
Kohli.
Prime Minister, my beloved Prime
नहीं,
Minister कह रहे हैं।
Mr. Mitra has something interesting to share. Yes, Mr. Mitra, what is it?
कमाल हो गया है।
I'll tell you what I like about him.
Intellectual arrogance and on top of it, lies. Yes, please tell us. I would like to hear that.
So, Pranesh.
No, what is intellectual arrogance
Mr.
about it?
Srivastav, आप सोच लीजिए sir. Before you answer Nalin Kohli, think about what you're going to say. In the meanwhile, let Mr. Mitra make a point.
Since Vivek asked, this
No,
is
not
me
at all,
watching
not at
Padmavat.
all. A good
This is me watching
opposition
supported Padmavat.
must praise the government on the good moves made by the government.
There you
there's
go.
nothing wrong with
Mr.
it.
Mitra
I
को
liked
सुनिए
it.
क्या बोल रहे हैं आपसे.
Sir, I liked it.
He is
when my
responding
Prime
to you.
Minister-
Mr. Srivastava,
Arre
Mr.
भैया,
Mitra is
सुनो.
responding to you.
Please listen.
So I supported Padmavat and I opposed the Karni Sena since Vivek asked me. Okay, I condemned the Karni Sena at that point. It is important to remember that the Karni Sena was forwarding what, a caste agenda or a religious agenda? Was there blasphemy involved? No. Any time there is only one community that responds to blasphemy a certain way.
It had religious
Of
undertones,
course.
sir. It was a communal issue. The whole
How
controversy
is
was
it a
based on a
communal
particular
issue?
religion and names.
How was it a communal issue?
The caste was
How
there,
is it a
yes,
communal
but
issue?
the caste became
How is it
representative
a
of the Hindu
communal
pride.
issue?
The caste became representative of the Hindu pride, sir.
Forget Padmavat. Let's talk about the Kerala story, Mr. Srivastava. You are answering on everything, but the question I've asked you about Mr. Achyutanandan, उसमें भी आपने गलत बोल दिया. आपने पहले
अच्युतानंदन जी ने जनरल स्टेटमेंट किया था.
जनरल स्टेटमेंट क्या है? एंड द ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस दैट यू नेम्ड, ISIS, Al Qaeda, ये क्या है? व्हाट आर दीस NGOs?
According to us, workers of the world unite and
Mr.
workers don't have a
Srivastava,
religion.
अभी आपने 3 ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का नाम लिया.
That is what we believe in.
It was not a general statement. It was aimed at PFI. See, why do we tell lies on national television? And that too on documented things. Achyutanandan was speaking
Rahul Ishwar, you made a very balanced statement.
Mr. Srivastava,
Rahul,
just
you
answer
made a
this
very balanced
question.
statement
Even if it
when you
is,
said
Mr.
that-
Srivastava,
that Islam.
Mr. Srivastava, don't talk over others. 1 minute. Mr. Srivastava,
yes,
straight question to you, sir. Even if the film is about one story, one victim, one girl,
Yes.
should it not be screened?
Yes.
Should it be banned? Should the filmmakers be targeted?
Yes.
Should there be fear mongering that people get
You can.
attacked?
You
like
should. No, not at all. But when you use that one film to spread communal hatred, and the Prime Minister and certain Hindutva organizations start backing it and
When
start
you were-
showing it
Who's
as a
going to
classic
decide?
case.
now, Mr.
And
Kohli
how
will tell you when you were
Islam
backing
decide?
Farzania.
After you called the genocide of Kashmiri Pandits as RSS agenda. I mean, come on.
No,
so you will decide that, Mr. Srivastava.
No, I did not.
You who standing here and giving jam on freedom of speech and expression. You say it's a rubbishy movie without seeing it. You say it's a rubbishy movie without seeing it. I mean, look at your hypocrisy, sir. You have not seen the film and you say it's a rubbishy film. You go on hearsay. Somebody I called and he said it's a rubbishy film. आपने पिक्चर देखी है? पिक्चर देखी नहीं और उसको आप बकवास कह रहे हैं? पिक्चर देखी नहीं बकवास कह दिया और यहाँ बैठ के फिर फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच की बात कर रहे हैं.
Tehseen will watch the film if not already. And then Tehseen will put out the tweet.
अगर देखी होती तो
that let the Congress screen the film in Wayanad.
नहीं एक मिनट बकवास हो गया ना. नहीं फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच.
नहीं जो आदमी 32,000 से शुरू होता है.
32,000 का क्या मतलब सर? That number has been revised even if it is about one victim.
अच्छा, you are a statistician.
It becomes it becomes a trivial issue to you. Mr. Srivastava, you stand exposed today on multiple counts. Free speech, hypocrisy, Islamist terror को whitewash कर रहे हैं आप. ISIS, Al Qaeda mean nothing to you. NGO है आपके लिए.
कोई hypocrisy नहीं है.
बकवास film without watching it.
No,
and in the process you also ridicule the plight of Kashmiri Hindus, Mr. Srivastava. So mind that.
और BJP promote कर रही है.
This is not about BJP, Congress or TMC. This is about an ideology that we must all stand up for. No. Stand up together and fight.
What ideology?
Islamist terror, Mr. Srivastava. That is the ideology. Let that sink in. Islamist terror. Islamist terror, Mr. Srivastava. Islamist terror. ISIS is about Islamist terror. Al Qaeda is about Islamist terror. But you will give a clean sheet. No, you will give a clean sheet to BFI. And then not even call out the Al Qaeda and ISIS for what they are.
1 minute, Pranesh. I have a challenge for Mr. Srinivastav. Please say that Chinese were the intruders in 1962 war and that you don't stand with China as your party stood at that time.
Okay. Yes, very childish of you to have spoken this. We are not with China or Russia or any other country. Yes, we are Marxists.
Childish.
When we see another country, whether
so you criticize the communist people standing with China in 1962. We are
learning from the United.
1 minute, hold on.
No,
so you criticize your leaders who stood with China. Say
Party
that.
of United States of America also. That is what you don't know. We are learning from the Communist Party in Europe also, which are capitalist countries. We are learning from worker limitations.
Do you criticize the Communist Party leaders who stood with China or not in the 1962 war? Since you call it a very childish question.
Nobody sided with the Chinese. Nobody sided with the Chinese.
The Communist Party leaders, do you criticize them for standing against India?
Let's give the last 5 seconds.
You say, I don't stand with them, I stand with India.
Final comments, then we move on.
Indian communists have set up a role model in the world.
Yeah, role model. You were congratulating Xi Jinping. No, you were congratulating
Role model for standing with China in the 1962 war.
Role model, sir.
Is that the role model?
Okay, Tehseen, the last 30 seconds of the show.
Not.
Those who want to watch the movie may watch it. Don't want to watch it, don't watch it. But my only honest request via Nalinji, please, via your channel is to the Honorable Prime Minister. There is a Manipur story happening right now. 355 has been evoked. There are thousands of our fellow citizens displaced. If the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Home Minister can stop being pracharaks for either a movie or Karnataka elections and focus on Manipur, I think this country will be served better.
Okay, let's move on. Mr. Kohli wants to...
Let me assure you that the Honorable Home Minister is personally leading it. Absolutely. Okay. Amit Shah ji as Home Minister cancelled programs in Karnataka.
Do you not believe it's an intelligence failure that you have to evoke Article 355?
It is our only priority.
Sir, can you tell me another precedence Article 355 on its own was evoked?
We are out of time on this one. We have another important story to discuss. I thank all of you for joining us. Some of you stay back.